few years ago, like I remember very vividly walking into a restaurant that just made me want to burn my entire business to the ground and like start all over. Not because like the food was terrible, but because they were doing like way too many things. And so let me paint you a picture here. Like this place had a menu just thicker than like a Stephen King novel, right? Italian, Mexican, sushi, Thai, burgers, vegan bowls. Like they had even a whole section dedicated to like just pies and jam, like just so much crap. And I watched the owner like walk around with like bags under his eyes. His phone was just glued to his ear, like rushing between the kitchen and the supplier and like the back and like all, you know, just arguing with people about these deliveries and like just, you could tell he was like so frustrated, right? And 3 different chefs like working 3 different, completely different stations, inventory sheets all like up on in the back and just like everything scattered everywhere. Like the food came out 45 minutes later and like the food was fine, like it wasn't bad, but what killed me was like across the street, right? Like a burger joint and 1 burger on the menu, fries and shake, and that's it. The line was out the door on a Tuesday. Now, I went to this restaurant because my friend suggested it and said they just have so many options. But the thing is that there was nobody there. Now, the owner at the burger joint, she was sitting at a corner table, laptop open, probably looking at, you know, the third location's numbers where, you know, her machine just like ran itself, right? Same burger recipe for like 5 years, same suppliers, same 3-person crew who could just like make that burger blindfolded, right? And that night, like after that day of checking these 2 places out, like I couldn't sleep. And it was really because like I'd been running the 300 item menu restaurant in my business for like many years. And maybe you have too. And what I'm really about to do is like, I'm going to piss off a lot of internet marketers that you might follow. And that is, you're not allowed to, you know, a second offer until you hit 7 figures with 1 offer, not 6 figures, not 999,000, 7 figures. And I know what you're thinking, but Scott, like diversification, multiple revenue streams. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? But here's what nobody really tells you about the basket metaphor. It assumes you have eggs worth protecting in the first place, right? Like most of us, we're juggling empty baskets, like hoping that one accidentally catches, you know, something of value, right? So let me share something really embarrassing. At my lowest point, I had 17 different offers, 17. I could help you with copywriting, Facebook, email, course creation, webinar, sales funnels, social media. Geez, I mean, hiring setters, closers, personal strategy, branding strategy, YouTube optimization, all these different things. And you know how much I was making? About $3,000 a month on like a good month. And my friend Marcus, he had 1 offer, 1 single offer. And he helped SaaS companies reduce their churn. That's it, nothing else. He could have helped with a lot of other things, but that was his only thing that he helped. And so 180 that month, like when I was comparing what I did with him, he made $187,000 the month before. And so the math is completely backwards from everything that you've been taught. But the evidence is like worth everything once you actually start looking. And so there's this study that changed how I really think about everything. Researchers went out and they set up like this jam testing booth at grocery stores. And some days they would put out 24 different flavors. Other days they would put out just 6. And what the interesting thing that they found is that the 24 jam display, like it attracted more browsers and people, like for sure. But people looked at all those options and like there were so many possibilities and like so much variety, so much to taste. But when it came time to actually buy, the jam display sold 10 with 6, like that jam display with the less, it sold 10 times more than the one that had 24. It wasn't double, not triple, 10 times more. So 30% of people like bought jam when there were only 6 options, like a 10x more. And so 3% when there was 24 options. And so your prospects' brains work the same way. When you offer coaching and courses and templates and done for you and consulting and workshops and masterminds and social media and all this shit, like their brain just shorts out. Not to mention it's really hard to put that on your homepage and your copy or your content. It's hard to attract somebody when you do everything. Like, you actually speak to no one when you try to speak to everybody. And it's not that they don't trust you. It's not that they can't, like, they literally can't make a decision, right? They're just overwhelmed with all the shit that you do. It's like the jam aisle with too much, or like the bread aisle, really. And so the mental effort right there required to compare and evaluate all your offers is so exhausting that their brain just like takes the easiest path, which is like to do nothing, to buy nothing. And so the confused mind doesn't buy. It's like Netflix scrolling your services page for 20 minutes, right? Like, that's what they're doing. They're scrolling your service page like Netflix. There's so much shit and they don't even know. They just get frustrated. Like, they scroll for an hour, and I'm sure you've done that on Netflix. Same thing happens when it's on your business. And so here's what kills me. Entrepreneurs, like, they think about adding offers is simple addition, right? Like, I have $2,000 offer, and if I want to add another $2,000 offer, that's $4,000 potential client, like my AOV, my average order value. Please, like, no. Like, God, no, please. So each offer you add, it adds complexity. It multiplies it. It doesn't just like make your AOV and your average order value go up. It multiplies complexity. And so let me show you the real math of multiple offers. So when you have one offer number one, like, would need a sales page, right? Like, copy that, and that would convert like emails. You need email sequences, nurtures, and sell. And so you need an onboarding process, delivery support documentation, testimonial collections, and like your content strategy to attract the right people, objection handling if you have a sales calls. And so that's 8 different systems for one single offer. And now when you add offer number 2, now you need 16 systems. But here's the thing, and really like the truth is that they can't all be the same systems. Like, different offer means different ideal client. Different pain points mean different objections, and different everything, different outcomes. And so offer number 3, that's 24 systems. Offer number 4, that's 32 systems. But it gets way worse, because now these offers need to work together like somehow. And do they complement each other, or do they completely like cannibalize, right? Like, who knows? You're too busy drowning in complexity to even like figure that out. And so I watched a client that I had named Sarah many years ago, like, map out a very simple 3 offer business on a whiteboard once. And by the time she drew all the connections there, the dependencies, the systems, it looked like she was trying to solve string theory, right? She just started like breaking down in my mastermind. And I'm not joking. So here's what happens when you pick one thing and go all in. Month 1, you'll suck at selling. Month 2, you're slightly less terrible. Month 3, you'll begin to notice patterns and objections that come up. And so month 6, you can handle any objection in basically your sleep. And by month 9, like, your positioning is so razor sharp. By month 12, you're the obvious choice for this one problem. And then if you even put it out further, like month 18, you can charge 5 times than what you started at. And so month 24, people refer you to others without even asking. It's just word of mouth. And so month 25, you're a precision guided missile in your market that's just like dominating. And so think about that for a moment. On the other side there, like, do you want to know what happens when you have 5 different offers? Like, month 1, you suck at selling all of them. And then by month 25, like by month 24, essentially, like, you still suck at selling all of them. By month 25, most people will add another offer thinking that that's going to help them go up and scale, right? But because you never get enough reps with any single thing, like any offer to achieve mastery, you're perpetually just like you're an amateur at everything, instead of like a world-class thing at one thing. And so the specialist, like the brain surgeon, makes $2 million a year. Like, the I do everything generalist practitioner, $250,000 a year if like they're lucky, oftentimes less. And so the market, it rewards depth, not like width and breadth. And I get like, okay, Scott, I'm convinced, but how do I choose, right? Stop overthinking. Like, here's your filter. What pisses you off more that you can actually fix? Like, what is the thing that makes you frustrated that you know actually have to fix? Not what I'm passionate about, because passion is overrated. Anger is overrated. I'm genuinely angry at, that smart people are broke because they don't know how to package their knowledge up. Like, it genuinely pisses me off every single day, and that anger fuels my focus. And so what makes you angry enough to fix it like 1,000 times over? And then the next thing there is like, you want to filter out, what do people already come to you for? Not what you wish they came to you for, but like what actually, like if you ask them about this and like they ask you about it in parties or DMs, and in a quick question like that you can think through, that what are you doing that like turns them coming to you into like an hour-long conversation? Like those types of conversations, that's your market telling you that your one thing should be that thing. And so the final filter, like really filtering this out, is like, what can scale without you, like actually killing yourself? And some offers, like they require you to show up live every single time. Like others can run while you sleep. And so if you're going to do one thing for the next like 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, like pick something that wouldn't require you to put out twice the effort to make twice the money. Like, you want to know the real reason why entrepreneurs add 17 offers is like fear, right? Fear that one offer isn't going to be enough. Fear that they're like leaving money on the table. Fear that they're going to get bored, or fear that they're picking one thing, and that means that they're not really an entrepreneur. We're just specialists, right? But mostly it's fear, like going all in on something that might not work. Like that's a real fear. The thing is though, is like because as long as you have 17 offers, like you have 17 excuses for why you're not successful yet, right? And I just need to dial in my systems. I just need this other funnel. I'm still figuring out the mix of things, right? Or my sales script, or my traffic channel, or like you can be stuck in that loop going around and around. Once I optimize everything, one offer has nowhere for you to hide. It either works or it doesn't. And that's like, in a real sense, that can be terrifying. It's also the only way to build something like truly real. And every time a potential client has to decode what you actually do, you are truly lighting money on fire. And so every time you have to explain how your 7 offers fit together, or worse, 17 offers like I had, you're paying a confusion tax. And so every time you say, I do a lot of things, instead of I solve this one expensive problems, like you are basically subsidizing your competition. You are literally like giving them the customers. And so that burger joint that I mentioned earlier, like across the street from where I went, they don't need to explain anything. Like they make the best burger in the city. Done. There's no decoding ring that you need to like figure out what they do. And I know what some of you might be thinking, but Scott, like, what about diversification? Isn't one offer risky? And you know what's risky? Like being mediocre at 7 things, or even like half and half, like kind of good at 2 things, when your competition is world class at like 1 thing. And you might be saying like, but I'm going to get bored. Like boredom is a luxury problem. Like being broke is a real problem. Make money first, then worry about being bored. Like when you make $1 million a year, you can start another thing if you want, but get to the million first. And something else that people tell me all the time, but my clients keep asking me for other things. They ask because you haven't drawn clear boundaries. Like the burger joint gets asked all the time about like all kinds of things, like, but they still make burgers and people still line up. Like they sell out pretty much every single day. And you might be still thinking like, but I see other people succeeding with multiple offers. Like this person has so much and their business seems so fun. No, you see people who already succeeded with one offer and then they added others. So cart, horse, order of operations, like think from that level. You can't put the cart before the horse. And so if you picture this, like it's 18 months from now, if you do one thing that you're known for, like one single thing, your entire business is built around solving that expensive problem better than anybody else. And so your sales calls can become truly like 30 or 45 minutes because everybody knows like what you do. When they come through, they're so warm and they already know like what you do and the value that you can provide. your content just like writes itself because you're always talking about the same core problem in different ways. And so your testimonials, they all say the same thing and the same transformation that everybody's looking for. And then most importantly, like your systems are so dialed that your business just runs itself without you for weeks or months, or just without you entirely, right? And so your prices have tripled or 5x or even 10x in some instances because the person of this problem wants it solved and they know you can solve it. And so you wake up knowing exactly what you're building. There's no decision fatigue. There's no shiny objects. You're not doing things that are taking you away from the thing. You just have clarity, focus, and you have a lot of profit. And so the restaurant with 300 items that is still there across from that burger joint, they're still struggling. They're still complicated, still exhausted. And what they think is like adding more things to the menu, thinking that's going to solve their problem. The owner, they actually added, the last time that I went there, not that I go there very often, I just go there to be amused, to be honest. The food is mediocre at best. But the owner just added breakfast item last month when I went there. And that's, when I asked him, he said that's to capture the morning crowd. And the burger joint, they perfected their fries. Like, that's it. Same burger, better fries. Their third location opens next month. And so here's my question for you. Are you going to keep adding items to your menu, hoping that like something sticks, hoping that you're going to hit it big, hiring more teams for these systems and more things for the more offers? Like it sounds fun. It sounds like a shiny object. Or are you going to make one perfect burger? Because the market doesn't reward entrepreneurs who can do everything, I promise you. It rewards the ones who do one thing so well that people like across town, like they're going to cross states to come and buy from you, much like that burger joint. And so your second offer isn't a growth strategy. It's a distribution that you can't afford yet. And so pick one thing, go all in, let everything else burn to the ground. And you can watch what happens when you stop trying to be everything to everybody and start being everything to somebody. The complexity is not impressive, I promise. The simplicity is going to be very profitable. So choose wisely.